Hello, good evening. Dead Texan here. It's been a while since my last video, but a couple reasons for that. One, I took a trip to San Diego where my nephew graduated Marine Corps basic trainings, which was a big deal for my family. And two, I honestly couldn't decide what to talk about next. I had decided on another installment of the FTP award, aimed squarely at a certain congressman who's been begging for it recently. I had my notes ready, the camera set up, lights on, and then I changed my mind. Now, that video is still going to be made, but what started as just a short intro about my trip before the FTP video quickly turned into something that I decided deserved its own video. In about a week, something far more important deserves to be honored: the 250th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. So tonight, we're putting politics aside and paying tribute to the few, the proud, the Marines.
The few, the proud, the Marines.
And one bulldog in particular who's carrying that legacy forward. So a few weeks back, my family and I went to the Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, or MCRD for short, to watch my nephew officially become a United States Marine. If you've ever been to one of these graduations, it's something special. The energy, the discipline, the pride, it hits different. You can see it on the recruits' faces. They've been pushed to the very edge, and they've earned that Eagle Globe and Anchor with sweat and grit. For those who don't know, every Marine you meet graduated from one of only two places: Parris Island, South Carolina, or San Diego, California. Those are the proving grounds, no shortcuts, no exceptions. Now, since we're celebrating the 250th birthday of the United States Marine Corps, it's worth remembering where it all began. The Marine Corps was born November 10th, 1775, in Tun Tavern, Philadelphia. Yep, a bar, and it fits perfectly.
God save King George! I think we came to the right place.
That's where the Continental Congress authorized the creation of two battalions of Marines to serve as landing forces for the Navy during the Revolutionary War. Their mission: to board ships, fight hand to hand, and bring the fight straight to the enemy's shores. From day one, Marines weren't just soldiers or sailors. They were a little bit of both, trained to go anywhere, fight anyone, and never back down. Since that day, they've fought in every American conflict from the sands of Iwo Jima to the mountains of Afghanistan, earning a reputation around the world for toughness, honor, and precision, amongst other things. That's why November 10th isn't just another date on the calendar. It's a sacred day for Marines everywhere. It's the day the few and the proud were born. Now back to the trip. My family doesn't get to travel like that very often, so when we do, we get souvenirs just like everybody else. First thing here, I actually got on the way back going through New Mexico. I picked up this painted skull for Dia de los Muertos. It caught my eye immediately: the color, the design, and it really goes with my whole Dead Texan vibe. It would be kind of cool to do a Dia de los Muertos video, but a bit too late for that, so maybe next year. Then, after my nephew's graduation, we hit the beach. A beautiful place. It had a long pier stretching out into the ocean. There was a shop where I found this sand dollar and grabbed it. Really for no reason, but I thought it was cool. On a side note, the water was really cold, but we all had a lot of fun while we were there anyway. But my favorite finds came from the MCRD shop itself. I picked up this Proud Marine Uncle keychain, because of course I did. Then a 50 caliber bullet turned into a bottle opener with the Marine insignia on one side and United States Marines on the other. I don't really drink that much, but I thought it was pretty badass. And then finally, I saw it. A stuffed bulldog, tough looking little guy with that trademark Marine attitude. Now, this is actually a smaller version of it. They had a much bigger version, but it was a bit too much for me, and this guy fits perfectly on the desktop beside me. They also had one that was in dress blues, but I liked the camo better. It reminded me of Bruno, the mascot we just met during graduation. And that's when it hit me. This is what I wanted to talk about. Not politics, not outrage, but tradition, honor, and the story behind the bulldog that represents one of the most respected fighting forces on Earth. Also, a quick question: what should this guy's name be? Bruno, Chesty, or something else? Let me know in the comments. Now, before we dive into the story, I just want to make something clear. I'm not a Marine and I've never served in any branch. But my brother is, and now my nephew is, and I respect the hell out of both of them and anyone who's ever worn that uniform. Because earning that title takes something not everyone has. You don't have to be a Marine to appreciate what it stands for: discipline, honor, courage, and a brotherhood that never fades. So from one proud Texan to all who serve, thank you. So even though we aren't supposed to talk about him, this is Bruno, or should I say Lance Corporal Bruno. He's the official mascot of MCRD San Diego, born right there in the city on October 22nd, 2022. He was promoted to private first class in September 2023, and then to Lance Corporal in July of 2024. He's named after Major General Bruno Hotchmuth, the first general officer killed in action during the Vietnam War, who also served as General Commander of MCRD San Diego from 1963 to 1967. General Hotchmuth's decorations include Distinguished Service Medal, Legion of Merit with Combat V, Navy Commendation Medal with Gold Star, and Purple Heart with Gold Star. Naming Bruno after him wasn't random. It was about legacy and respect. Bruno now represents the same Marine spirit, taking part in family days, motivational runs, graduations, and public events across the Western recruiting region. Now here's where the tradition really comes alive. The Marine Corps bulldog mascots trace their roots all the way back to World War I, after the Battle of Belleau Wood. German soldiers, impressed with how fiercely the Marines fought, reportedly started calling them, and forgive my pronunciation, Terfelhunden, meaning devil dogs. They used it to describe how fiercely the Marines fought, relentless, fearless, and damn near unstoppable. The Marines took that nickname and owned it. It became part of their identity, a badge of honor earned through blood and grit. Shortly after, an artist named Charles B. Falls created a recruiting poster showing a Dachshund in a German helmet running from an English bulldog wearing a Marine helmet with the Eagle Globe and Anchor. Underneath it read, Terfelhunden, Devil Dog Recruiting Station. That image stuck, and the English bulldog became the symbol of Marine toughness. The first official bulldog mascot came a few years later in 1921, thanks to Brigadier General Smedley D. Butler, one of the most famous Marines in history. After World War I, Butler wanted to boost public interest in the Corps, so he bought a purebred bulldog named Keen Bulwark, renamed him Jiggs after the famous comic of the time, Jiggs and Maggie, and enlisted him in the Marine Corps on October 7, 1922. Jiggs had his own service record, attended football games, parades, and recruiting events, and was promoted all the way to Sergeant Major. When he passed in January 9, 1927, he was buried with full military honors. His satin-lined coffin lay in state in a hangar at Quantico, Virginia, surrounded by flowers from hundreds of admirers. After Jiggs, there was Jiggs 2, but then came more mascots. During the 1930s, 40s, and early 50s, the mascots were all named Smedley, a tribute to General Butler, until 1957, when the Chesty dynasty began, named after the legendary Chesty Puller. Today, that line continues with Chesty XVI, the current mascot at Marine Barracks, Washington, D.C. Now standing proud in San Diego, Lance Corporal Bruno continues that legacy, representing everything the Marine Corps stands for: courage, loyalty, and honor. He's more than a mascot. He's a symbol of the fighting spirit that refuses to quit. And just like the Marines he represents, Bruno shows up, stands tall, and does his duty. So, as the Marine Corps celebrates its 250th birthday, here's to the Devil Dogs, past, present, and future. From Belleau Wood to Baghdad, from Chesty Puller to Lance Corporal Bruno, the tradition lives on. To my nephew, congratulations, Marine, you've earned it. To my brother, thank you for your service. And to every Marine who's ever stood watch so the rest of us could sleep easy, Semper Fi. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more. This has been Dead Texan. Hoorah, Devil Dogs.